Hello, my loves. I know that we're doing another unboxing today, but I am so excited for this one. And I figured I would do a little witchy chat and then we'll unbox this deck together because I'm just having kind of a little bit of a low energy day today. I'm recovering from a bit of a migraine and just trying to kind of move gently and slowly with awareness as we move into the energy of late week as I'm recording this. So yeah, we're going to be unboxing the Pathfinder Oracle today, and I have a big old story for you around this one, so look forward to that in just a few minutes. But I figured we'd start with some tea and just kind of chat. The Ostara observance that we did together as a group was just amazingly incredible. And there was so much energy raised, and it was so powerful and beautiful. And it was just such a blessing to be a part of, and it really inspired me. And as part of the preparatory work for the observance itself, and just for in general, I think how I feel around Ostara, which even though it snowed here last night, it's absolutely freezing. The wind is blowing like a banshee around the house. You can probably hear it. It is not spring-like at all here, and it hasn't been all week, and it's actually going to get even colder, and we're going to get a substantial amount of snow this weekend here. But always for this particular Sabbath, I always like to do spring cleaning, and I rearrange things. You can see I've changed some things around in my bedroom and just kind of like clear and freshen the energy up. And that compiled with the working that we did on the Sabbath of Ostara itself has just left me feeling really, other than the headache I've been dealing with, expansive, excited, creative, really just juicy and lusty. So yeah, I'm just really feeling this spring equinox, despite how cold it is outside. I thought maybe I could start taking some of my spring clothing out this week, but unfortunately I had to go back to the winter layers because it's just so cold here. But anyhow, I've really been drawn to working with Lilith, and primarily I've pretty much just been working with her. There's Gracie's little nose. She's upset because we're interrupting her nap. Anyhow, yeah, I've been working primarily with Lilith and really embracing this energy of sensuous independence and presence within myself and in and of myself as I move about the world. There's a different way that I'm showing up and interacting, you know, as a priestess, yes, but also as a mom, and in my community in a different way. Not a major shift in anything I'm doing, but more my presence. I felt a big shift with that as we've moved, I would say, through from Samhain to now. There's just been a real kind of settling into my power, and I feel like Lilith is helping me to anchor that in for some of the creative magic. I'm very excited to work with Venus and Isis for Beltane. So I can kind of feel the flow of the goddesses and the demons and demonesses that are working with me. And it feels really harmonious, but fiery and lusty and very grown up. It's a very grown up energy, not in a boring way at all, but more in a sense of knowing oneself and knowing what's worth it and what's not worth it, you know? I think of that card in, I think it's Oracles of Shadows and Light, where it says, do not drink poison, do not do things that you know are bad for you. And I was speaking with one of my beloved tarot sisters about this recently. I feel like I've really learned to say no where I need to, even if something seems like it's going to be good. So I feel like embodying that card is actually very freeing. Instead of, I think I used to think, you know, because in my 20s, personally, I was very adult in my 20s and doing a lot of personal work, and I was married, and I wasn't being like most people in their 20s. And so I think in my 30s, my early 30s, I sometimes had to try something just to see, even if I knew it probably wasn't going to work out well. And now there's this grace, this poise, and this awareness, this wisdom of, do not drink poison. If it's going to be bad for you, it's probably not going to end well. Maybe you don't need to do it. Maybe you can just save that energy and put it into something else, right? Like devotional practice, or time with my son, or time in nature, connecting with the Davis of place. And crafting the elemental deck list videos has just been so inspiring to my own practice as well. You know, part of rearranging things in my room and freshening things up has also been redoing some of my deck area, which you can see there. I got another little bookcase and putting things together, taking some decks out that I haven't worked with in a while, and, you know, deciding what I want at the forefront of the collection, because I do find that seasonally my client readings will focus on different areas. And there's been a really big spiritual path focus so far this year. And so I'm very intrigued to see where it's going to go next. I have been pulling a lot of shadow decks and putting those to the forefront of the collection. So it will be interesting to see if shadow work is part of what we are doing as our spring cleaning here in this community. But yeah, the elemental deck lists have just been very inspiring to create. The fire videos coming next week. Thank you all for being patient. I do have an outfit planned already. You know your girl. But that list is, I'm actually editing that list right now and struggling. I am desperately struggling with that list. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, guys, because I love the fire element, and I'm actually a Sag rising. So yeah, that one's going to be really tricky for me to keep to an hour-long video and not go over. We'll see how well I do with that. For those of you that like long videos, I think the fire element video is going to be your cup of tea for sure. So yeah, those are some things that I've been exploring and embracing within myself, this real sense of self. And I think I, for a long time, longed to feel that. And I just feel so grateful that I'm here, that the work has paid off. And I do want to offer that as a reassurance for you. If you're in the thick of it and you cannot see the forest for the trees, and you know, you don't know if you're on the right path or if you're making the right decisions, or all of those ways in which we can doubt ourselves, one foot in front of the other, trusting your intuition, trusting your guidance, and most of all, walking your path authentically, even when you make mistakes, which I've really learned to embrace. Like, there are no mistakes. So you can let go, or I have been able to let go of a lot of control around that. But there is the other side of when you can't see the forest for the trees. And I'm finally feeling like I'm on the other side of the great work, part of the great work of my story. And it's beautiful here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the rest of this year. And I'm excited for it to get warmer and to be able to create content based on the warmer months of the year as well, because due to Vincent, I've come to find a love for the summer months, even though they haven't necessarily been my favorite season. The summer is usually my least favorite season. Winter is now that, especially after this last one. But thanks to him, I've really been able to cultivate a connection with the summer months, and they're months that I will actually have more time to create because Vincent is getting older. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting to sit with the goddess, and gosh, I just feel so lucky that this is my path and I get to live it all day, every day. I eat, I breathe, I sleep this path, and it's really a blessing. I will say I've barely been sleeping though. I know several others of you are also experiencing that, even though I'm exhausted. So that's always frustrating, but it is what it is. So that's my spring equinox update. I will be excited when the weather does warm up a little bit here you know, we had a little taste of it, but it went right back to winter. So hopefully that won't last for long. Okay, another sip of tea because I'm absolutely dying of thirst today. So let's talk about skullgarden.net. That is the Skull Garden is the creator. You can find them on Etsy, but you can also find them on skullgarden.net. I want to talk a little bit about this artist. I really love their artwork. And the Earthbound Oracle has been on all of my favorites list for Oracle decks for a very, very long time. I really connected with that deck around the time that I got divorced. And so I have a very close association with freedom and a sense of claiming autonomy when I work with that deck. And I love how simple it is. Now, when I say simple, I am not denigrating that deck because the imagery is not overwhelming. There's no guidebook. It's one word, card prompt on the card itself. And the imagery is so simple yet clear that it's one of my favorite clarifying oracles. And the size of it is so perfect that it easily travels. And so back in the day, pre-COVID, when I was a traveling psychic medium, that deck would always come with me because no matter where I was, I could just slide it right in my purse and I could pull that deck out. And if I was doing group readings at a party or someone had booked me for the night and I didn't know where I was going to be set up, I always knew that that deck would fit wherever I needed, like whatever I had to use table-wise. So some of you may remember when I did the Earth Element deck list, I couldn't find it. And then I really couldn't find it. And then I spent an entire 6-hour period looking through my entire apartment and couldn't find it. And I panicked and I spoke to one of my dearest, closest friends in the world. Thank you, V. And she happened to have an extra copy that she has sent to me in the mail. Thank you. And I think it's here today, but I'm going to open that up separately. I am going to do a video on the Earthbound Oracle. I'm going to do a video on all 3 of Skull Garden's decks because I did also reorder the wooden tarot because I discovered that somehow I've lost the wooden tarot as well. When I went online to repurchase the Earthbound Oracle, the Earthbound Oracle was sold out, which is why I desperately messaged my dearest V and asked her for assistance. Panic message. She was like, I know how much it took for you to send me this message. And I'm like, yes, this is a big deal. Like, I'm dying without this deck. I can't believe that I put it on vacation. And when I moved everything down from the loft area where I record here in the summer months, summer and fall months, somehow I must have lost my box with both of those decks in it. So I went on their Etsy shop to purchase Earthbound Oracle and it was not available, but the Pathfinder Oracle was. Now, this is going to be a long video. I'm very chatty today. Headaches do this to me. It's like I take a long and winding road. I become a Led Zeppelin song. Or Frail's cover of Bela Lugosi's Dead Today. That's what inspired this outfit. So, a couple months ago, maybe even more than that, actually, maybe I was still in the other apartment, I wanted to purchase this. I had slept on purchasing this at the time, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have slept on purchasing this. When I went to purchase it last year, it was sold out on their shop. And there wasn't any notification of like when it ever might come back in stock. And I was beating myself up so much so that I posted an Instagram story and I was like, hey, if anybody has an extra copy that they're willing to sell or trade, please let me know because I love Earthbound Oracle so much. I want this one. So when I went on to find Earthbound, Pathfinder was available and I purchased Pathfinder, and then separately a few days later, I did repurchase the wooden tarot. So I'm going to do a video talking about how to work with all 3 of these decks because there aren't guidebooks, and I know that that can be, I know that that can feel daunting, but it's also an opportunity to really have your own personal language with a deck. And so it does provide you an opportunity to connect with something. Now, I do believe that there's an online PDF for Wooden Tarot, and there might even be an online PDF for this, but I built such my own relationship with the Earthbound Oracle over the years that I didn't even really look to see if there is a PDF guidebook available for this. So all that to say, I have been chomping at the bit for this deck for like a year now. And the fact that it's here is very, very exciting. And the fact that Earthbound Oracle is probably downstairs for me to pick up is even more exciting. So this is what the box looks like. Side just says skullgarden.net. And it says created by Andrew Schwartz. Words this week on the side. This immediately gives me desert vibes, like Icy's desert vibes, right? So it says the Pathfinder Oracle is a 48 card diamond shaped Oracle deck. Each card has 4 meanings depending on which corner faces upwards in a reading: positive, negative, active, and passive. A guidebook is included. Oh, okay, so there is a guidebook with this one. A guidebook is included with all 192 possible readings. This is a deck for bold seekers who aren't afraid to get their claws dirty or sand in their shoes. So let's grab our beautiful seam ripper that one of our lovely community members gifted me. Oh my God, it's not lost again, is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. The fairies have been very active in my freaking house. Okay. So inside is just white. And then that looks like that. Okay, so a little bit fatter than the Earthbound Oracle, which is smaller and a little more rectangular in shape. Let me move this out of the way. Let's just do a quick cardstock is, you know, cheapish indie feel. It's actually very thin. It's thinner than Earthbound. That's how well I know Earthbound. Like I can feel Earthbound Oracle in my hands. It is thin. So you are going to want to be careful with this deck. So here is the guidebook. This booklet is meant to serve as a suggestion rather than a definitive guide. The descriptions are to help you view your readings from a different perspective, not to tell you what to do or how to feel. Think of it as an aggressively motivational friend rather than a map and a compass. So there's no like about the deck or anything like that. It's just straight up right into the meanings. And there are 4 interpretations. There's no card representation. And it looks like it's listed alphabetically. So, okay, I'm very intrigued. And this is another oddly shaped deck. I have all the decks for oddly shaped deck day, which that's also another video that's coming to the channel. Okay, so we have Beetle. But see how it has this like desert, Northern Lights nighttime vibe? And I just want to say before we get any further, like, you either love Andrew, let me make sure I say his name wrong, right, excuse me, because I just always think of him as Skullgarden, or them. I'm not sure what their pronouns are, but I always think of them as Skullgarden. So it's skullgarden.net, like in my mind, that's how I always see it. So Andrew Schwartz. He does a lot of, Vincent thinks his artwork is kind of creepy because there's so many eyes on it. So I just wanted to say, if it creeps you out, this may not be the deck for you. Ooh, look at the companion one. But I love the word choices because they're so like kind of freeing. Cosmos. When it comes to clarifying, now will be very interesting to work with. Let's see. So the white circle is negative. The black circle with the white ring, no, excuse me. The white circle is positive. The clear circle with the ring around it is negative. The moon with the crescent shape facing to the left is active. The moon with the crescent shape facing to the right is passive. So that could be a little confusing if you're new, but I think it's something you could figure out very easily. And here's the other thing. You can also just trust your intuition about which one's upright. I love this one. Oh, I like Hawk too. Look at that. Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? Faceted, no. Illuminated Earth Oracle. Oh, I want to use it with Illuminated Earth Oracle. Just like, it's such a colorful deck for me. Are you guys shocked? I really, really like it. Oh, I'm so glad I got this. I did purchase this with my own funds. I will put the link to the Etsy shop of the artist down below. And like I said, I do want, oh, look at that. I do want to do a video on the wooden tarot because, oops, sorry guys, it's so windy out there. It's like you're definitely really hanging out with me. It's so windy out there. Gracie's barking because the things are blowing around. That one's gorgeous. Ooh, here's fire. This would also be great for ritual work, right? Like at each of your corners in for your circle or on your altar. Oh yeah. Oh, this is going to be fun. I am excited about this. I would say the only concern I have is kind of like the Dark Days Tarot, which I actually love, but sometimes it's frustrating for me to work with because of the shape of it, because it's square. It is going to take me a little bit to adjust to the shape. It's giving me Archetypes Oracle and Alchemy Oracle vibes too, in that I can see how it creates the structure in the bones of the story of your spread as well. So yeah, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. And I should give you a comparison too. Let's see, here's a comparison. Here's the Flood card compared to Rider-Waite-Smith, just so you can see the difference. So it is larger than Earthbound, but it's still lengthwise shorter, but widthwise it's definitely fatter. So here's Fox, and this also marks a change in the artist's style a bit as well. Previously we had a lot of like wood background, think like Audrey Kawasaki, but not that their style is anything like Audrey Kawasaki's, just that beautiful wood panel backing with the painting fleshed out on the top of it, which I really, really love. I actually ordered a Skull Garden print, which I will if I remember, I'll share when it gets here. It's still on its way. Because I love that wood grain background with the painting over it, the beautiful acrylic painting over it, or oil, or whatever their medium is. But Skull Garden style is usually that kind of like very natural, almost soft tones, and it's very animal based with lots of eyes. This deck is slightly different because you've got these really saturated tones, and you really see the brush strokes in the work in a way that I don't recall experiencing with Earthbound Oracle or Wooden Tarot. So I love that, I love having decks that span an artist or an author's life, because you get to grow with them and you get to explore different facets of what inspires them. Interesting. Okay, flower. Oh, I love this next one. Cicada. That's beautiful. Yeah, this just reminds me of the desert in the Southwest here stateside, and touching the land there. Kind of different sort of magic than I typically indulge in and engage with, here on the East Coast and the Northeast. Very, very different feel. And I have been thinking a lot about the Southwest, visiting. I can never live that far from the ocean, but I do want to visit someday. I've always had a dream about New Mexico. I don't know. It will be very interesting to touch the good earth there. But I was thinking the other day about a little more southeast than here, what that might be like to settle into for a living space. So I don't know, I feel different areas of land calling to me, and this deck really is just reiterating that. But this really feels like a magical deck to me. Like, working with it specifically, almost like Notoria and Goetia, in that I have very specific times that I use those decks, and I don't just whip those puppies out all the time. I don't see using this archetypally as I have the Citadel, the Archetypes Oracle, and the Alchemy Oracle. I see this more as a divinatory tool and magically charged deck that gives clarity of purpose and direction before stepping into spell crafting or ritual observance. And it definitely has that feel. Oh, I love the coyote one. Oh, that's gorgeous. This is, you know what this is also reminding me of? Oh my God, I go through such spells with like purchasing decks. The Kitsune Oracle, which I need to repurchase because I had it and then I wasn't connecting with it, so I gifted it. But this is making me want Kitsune to work with this. Wow. Okay, UFO is the last one. All right. I am excited. I'm stoked for this one, guys. I know exactly how I'm going to use it, and this is going to be one that's more personal or focused in readings on spiritual path, craft, left-hand path, witchcraft, really focused on that aspect of the craft and connecting in with extrasensory ability, because it feels very, very connected to that to me. It does have almost a alien feel, but also a very earthed, old desert feel to it as well. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a very, very, very special deck, and I'm really, really excited to dive deep with her and to get to know her more. And I am going to be doing a video on working with Wooden Tarot, Earthbound Oracle, and Pathfinder Oracle as soon as my updated copy of our Earthbound Oracle arrives here, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's downstairs. So I'll be doing that video soon, but I have to wait for the Wooden Tarot to get here. It's on its way. But this is, yeah, really, really beautiful. I'm very excited to work with it. Like I said, don't expect much from the cardstock though, and you are going to want to store it carefully. Oh, did I show the backings, guys? I was so excited to look at the artwork. That's really beautiful. So it's meant to be worked within the diamond shape, not the square. And actually, now that it's in my hands, I don't want to hold it like a square. I do want to hold it like a diamond. So that's going to be beautiful in the center of a spread as well. Yeah, this deck is really different. It's unique. So if you're looking for something unique, if you're looking for something desert feel, old, but not of this plane. And if you're looking for something that you can use in ritual or for spell crafting or intentional work, I think you're going to find that this is a deck that you can enjoy working with. And also if you're looking for a study deck, because it does look like this deck's going to require some connecting with and some understanding of not only the guidebook, but also your own intuitive language connecting in with it. So let me know, guys, down below if you have this one, if you're going to purchase it, if you've got it, what you think of it. I'm very excited to work with it. I hope you had a wonderful Ostara. I hope you're feeling inspired by all of this fertile, juicy, new energy to clean house and create and craft new things on your path. And if you're working with Lilith, I hope you're having as much fun as I am. But whatever face of the goddess you are walking with, as always, you know that I am sending you oceans of love, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.